Alright, time for today's solutions for the sheet here is entitled A Sequences Start. So on each of these you need to write down the next three terms, and then you have to decide whether it's like linear or exponential growth. And so if you look at this first one here, you try to figure out the pattern. Think about addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, and then if those don't work, look for different other patterns. On this first one, I notice here it goes from 2 to 8, so you can either do plus 6 or times by 4. And if you look at the next step here from 8 to 14, that's plus 6. And so it's looking like plus 6 for each time, and that's what it is. So I'm going to add 6 again to get 32, add 6 again to get 38, and then add 6 again to get 44. Okay, and since I'm adding to get to the next number, this one is going to be linear. Okay, on number 2 here, to go from 4 to 20, you either add 16 or times by 5. And to go from 20 to 80, you would times by 5. So it's looking like I'm timesing by 5 on each step here. So to figure out the next one, you just got to take 2,500 and times by 5, which is 12,500. And then to get the next one, you times by 5 again, which is going to be 62,500. And then our next one, to get that, you times by 5 again, which is going to get you 312,500. And there you go. So that's how you get those ones. And since I'm multiplying by 5 each time, by a constant each step, this one's going to be exponential. Okay. Number 3, it kind of looks difficult when you first look at it, but realize it's a pattern. It just doesn't seem, apparent right at the start. But look at differences here. To go from 711 to 670, I can't think of a number right now that you can multiply or divide by, but you can subtract. And if you're not sure what that is, just do 711 and subtract 670, and you get how much that subtraction was, which was subtract 41. Well, look at the next one. Is that subtract 41? It is. And then you look at the next one. Yeah, also subtract 41. So if you're trying to figure out the next ones, you subtract 41 from the last item. So that last one there, 588 minus 41, gives you 547. And then subtract 41 again to get 506. And then you subtract 41 again, and that will give you 465. And since you're subtracting by a number, a specific number each time, subtracting by 41, this one's going to be linear. Moving on to 4, 5, 6, and 7. On 4, again, people might get a little bit scared because it has fractions. Well, don't start with the fractions. Don't look at these yet. Look at the left ones. How can you go from 63 to 21? Well, you can either subtract 42 or divide by 3. Well, to figure out what the pattern is, look at the next two, the next pair. To go from 21 to 7, you want to subtract 42, but you can divide by 3. So, if you notice here, you can divide by 3 there, divide by 3 there. And it's looking like each one of these is divide by 3. If you got 7, you can divide by 3, you get 7/3. If you got 7/3, divide by 3, you get 7/9. And so, in order to get the next one, you take 7/9 and divide by 3. If you notice a pattern here, 3 to 9 to 27, you're multiplying by 3 on the bottom. And so if you want the next one, you can do 7 and do 27 times 3 on bottom, which is going to be 81. And then if you're trying to get the next one, you take 81 times it by 3, you're going to get 243. So it's going to be 7 over 243. And then this one, since this pattern is divided by 3 each time, divide by 3, it's going to be exponential. Because exponential is either multiply or divide by a specific number each step. Whoops, sorry. It's a little bit harder on the edge there. Anyway, On number 5, this one's got a weird pattern. You notice 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34. Yeah, it's not adding a specific number each time. It's not multiplying by a specific number each time. It actually has this weird pattern where to get the next term, for example, let's say we're here at 3 and we want to get to the 5, you take the last two terms and add them together. So 2 plus 3 gives you 5. And then 3 plus 5 gives you 8. And then 5 plus 8 gives you 16. 8 plus 13 gives you 21. And so if you want to get the next term, you add these last two numbers together. 21 plus 34 is going to give you 55. And if you want the next one, you have to do 34 plus 55, which is going to give you 89. And if you want the next one, you take 55 and add 89. And that'll give you 144. And this one isn't linear or exponential, so this one's just neither. Alright, moving down to 6 and 7. These ones are drawing ones. You have some patterns going on. So it's looking like 6 here. I start with a dot in the middle, and then I add the 4 dots around in those corners there. And then the next one is adding 4 dots again on the edge there. And so if I want to get my next one, I start with a circle in the middle, and then I'm going to have 3 dots going out there, and then get to my next one, again a dot in the middle, but I need to do 4 dots going out, 4 dots, 4 dots, yeah, and these ones kind of just drawing your lovely pictures. I'm sure yours will look a lot better than mine. On this last one, I don't want 4, I want 5, so you gotta do 5 dots going out from that center. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, so there's that pattern. And since you're adding 4 dots each time, this one's going to be linear. 7, it looks like you start with this, and then you're adding a block on the top, and then on the end, add a block on top, and on the end. And so, this pattern just kind of matches up. This one's 5 tall. That one's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 5 long. 3, 4, 5. Next up, this one's going to be 6 tall. 3, 4, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then the last one is looking at 7 tall and long. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll put the 7 up top, and then 7 long, 4, 5, 6, 7. And since you're adding basically 2 blocks each time, this one's going to be linear. Moving on to the last two, 8 and 9. 8, I feel like, is a pretty quick pattern to catch. You're adding basically a triangle up top there to your little tree there. So start with a stick. Triangle, triangle, whoops, that was not a good triangle. My last step here on 4 had the 4 triangles, so to get my next one I need to add 1 more on there. Whoops. And so I'm just going to keep repeating that pattern, add another triangle onto the previous one, and that'll be the pattern. Whoops. And then 1 more on top. Yeah, when you look at these patterns here, think linear, exponential. This one, since I'm just adding 1 triangle each time, this one is also going to be linear. And then we move on to number 9 here. You notice I start here with 1 block, and then I got 2 blocks this way and 2 blocks that way. And then my next one I got 3 blocks that way and 3 blocks that way. So it's looking like you start with 1 by 1, 2 by 2, 3 by 3, and so my next one is going to be a 4 by 4. 4 by 4 is looking like that. Yeah, and then my next one is going to be a 5 by 5. So you can basically take that old one and add another row and column to it, and that'll get you to your next one. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. Oh, that one has too many blocks. But yeah, so that one's a 5 by 5. And then my next one's going to be a 6 by 6. Whoops. And so make sure it's got 6 blocks both ways. And yeah, so there's that one. This one doesn't follow a linear or exponential growth, because if you look at like the number of squares, we got 1, 4, 9. This one actually follows a quadratic growth, and so it's not going to be linear or exponential. Just put neither. And there's your assignment.